On a factory floor, workers step back as their task ends. But without warning, the massive robotic arm malfunctions. It swings its heavy payload violently into the group, launching an employee with incredible force. Sparks fly as it smashes into equipment. This is a brutal reminder. Always respect safety barriers. Automation is powerful and unforgiving. At this industrial dump site, a worker stands just feet from the bay. As the massive container is still lowering, the driver inexplicably pulls forward. The entire rig lurches, the raised metal arm nearly striking the bay's overhang. A heart-stopping error. Always confirm equipment is secure and stowed before moving an inch. A worker steps past the factory's safety fence. Without warning, the huge gantry robot roars to life, swinging a massive panel at high speed just over his head. A chillingly close call. This is why you never enter an active automation cell. Always lock out and tag out the equipment before any entry. In the calm blue of a swimming pool, danger lurks unnoticed. A girl's casual treading turns into a frantic, desperate struggle for air. Her strength fades. She slips beneath the surface, a silent, horrifying descent to the bottom, motionless as others swim just feet away. A water emergency is often quiet. Never take your eyes off the water. Active supervision prevents tragedy. In an industrial yard, a worker descends into a pit, vanishing from sight. Above, a colleague unknowingly guides a massive bundle of sacks into that exact spot. The crane lifts, revealing the horrifying truth. The first worker, limp, rises with the load. He was underneath the entire time. Never enter a drop zone. Always maintain visual confirmation of your team. On this quiet curve, a driver's routine trip becomes a nightmare. In a fiery blast, an unseen impact hurls their car skyward. The vehicle tumbles violently end over end, a metal shell against the sky, before crashing back down. A terrifying reminder to always stay alert and manage your speed, especially on bends. On a frigid industrial site, disaster strikes without warning. The operator can only watch as the massive steel boom groans, then buckles under immense strain. It folds completely, sending tons of metal crashing onto the roof with devastating force. This is a stark reminder to always respect the machine's limits, and to verify every single lift calculation before you begin. On the factory floor, two men lean in for a routine adjustment, unaware of the peril above. Suddenly, a multi-ton press assembly detaches and plummets. A catastrophic failure with no time to react. A devastating reminder. Never work under a suspended load without confirming safety locks are fully engaged. Your life depends on it. At this construction site, a worker moves around a massive sand pile. Suddenly, they slip and plunge headfirst. The shifting material engulfs their upper body in an instant. Legs kick desperately for a few seconds, then go completely still. A terrifying outcome. Always maintain a safe distance from unstable stockpiles. They can collapse without warning. At a scrapyard, an operator climbs inside a metal press to inspect a load. Suddenly, the machine roars to life. A massive hydraulic ram begins its cycle, advancing with unstoppable force and compressing him with the unforgiving metal. A horrific moment. Always de-energize and lock out all machinery before entry. Your life absolutely depends on it. At this textile plant, a worker leans over the active machine. A fatal misjudgment. In a flash, he's caught. The massive roll pulls him in, spinning him violently in its unyielding grip. A terrifying spectacle, and a stark reminder of industrial peril. Never approach running machinery. Always ensure it's completely powered down and locked out before any interaction. In an instant, the high-speed winder snags the worker. He's pulled off his feet with incredible force, spun violently as the machine wraps him into the unforgiving metal coil. The rotation is relentless, offering no escape. A terrifying lesson. Always ensure machine guards are in place and maintain a safe distance from all moving parts. Deep within this quarry, a subtle plume of dust is the only warning. Then, the entire cliff face gives way. A colossal wall of rock and earth cascades down, an unstoppable force engulfing tons of heavy machinery in a blink. There is no time to react. In unstable terrain, constant vigilance and a planned escape route are the only lines of defense against the ground turning on you. A normal shift on the factory floor. One worker stands by his machine when, without a sound, the floor collapses. He vanishes into the chasm instantly, a horrifying drop into the unknown. His partner can only watch, frozen in shock. This is a stark warning. Always verify the structural safety of your work area. What's underneath can be a serious risk. In a flash, the industrial shredder grabs more than just material. It pulls the worker in head first, a horrifying descent into the machine's maw. A colleague's desperate scramble is a race against time. This is a stark warning. Always respect the danger zone. Use push tools, and never wear loose clothing. On the edge of a massive hopper, a worker tries to clear a jam with a sledgehammer. He leans too far, losing his balance, and falling headfirst into the machine. He vanishes instantly, consumed by tons of moving rock on the active conveyor. A grim reminder: always lock out and tag out equipment before any kind of intervention. Your position is never worth your life. A routine reverse maneuver in a busy workshop. After a minor collision, the operator steps out, leaving the engine running and the forklift in gear. Suddenly, the machine lurches backward on its own. He scrambles to regain control, but the vehicle tips over an unseen edge, pinning him in a catastrophic crush. Never leave heavy equipment unattended while it's still in gear. On a hillside construction site, a worker directs the concrete pour. In an instant, the colossal pump arm suffers a catastrophic failure, snapping from its base. It swings down with immense force, slamming into the trench and pinning a man beneath its crushing weight. Always enforce exclusion zones and perform rigorous equipment inspections. Your life may depend on it. In this factory, one small adjustment becomes a nightmare. Leaning too close, the worker's clothing is snagged by the powerful rollers. In a horrifying instant, he's violently pulled into the machine's unforgiving mechanism. A frantic co-worker struggles to find the stop button. This is why you never reach over running equipment. Always de-energize and use proper guards. At this sugarcane plant, a worker loses his footing and falls onto the moving belt. He's dragged uncontrollably toward the massive shredder's intake, vanishing completely into the machine in a heartbeat. This is a brutal lesson on the factory floor. Powerful equipment is unforgiving. Always maintain a safe distance and stay focused around any moving parts. On an industrial site, a worker leans over an active conveyor system. In a horrifying instant, the unguarded rotating shaft snags his clothing, pulling him violently into the machinery. He vanishes in a fraction of a second. This is a brutal reminder. Never work on energized equipment. Always de-energize and utilize lockout-tagout procedures before any maintenance.